My name is Mr. Mugisha Emmanuel. In our previous lesson, I introduced a very interesting lesson about ratios. I taught you how to change from fractions to ratios. Went ahead to change from ratios to fractions. Then I also took you through how we could express a variety of fractions into a single ratios. And by the end of the lesson, I gave you an activity which I hope you did so well. So before we go to today's lesson, allow me take you through the activity which I gave you so that while at home there, you can gauge how much you understood in my lesson, and at the end of it all, award yourself the marks. So our number one was saying express 3 out of 5 and a quarter as a single ratio. Here we have two fractions, and I told you that the moment we give you more than one fraction, what you do, first express the given fractions as a single ratio, and that's what we are going to do. We are going to express 3 out of 5 and a quarter, which is supposed to be divided by a quarter. Work out this. How do we simplify this? It is 3/5. I told you division changes into multiplication, and the next fraction becomes a reciprocal, which is 4 out of 1. So get the product of the numerators, which is 3 times 4, that is 12. Get the product of the denominators, which is 5 times 1, and that is 5. Can this one be further reduced? The answer is no. So how do we write 12 out of 5 as a ratio? That is 12 to 5. That was A. So we look at B. B was 7 out of 9, which we are supposed to divide by 2 out of 5. So this one is going to give you 7 out of 9. Division changes into multiplication, and the next fraction becomes a reciprocal, which is 5 out of 2. Get the product of the numerators, 7 times 5, which is 35. Get the product of the denominators, 9 times 2, which is 18. Can this one be further reduced? The answer is no. So this one is written as 35 to 18. Then we go to C. Our C, we are supposed to express 6 out of 5. Then I told you, you divide it by 1 1/3. And what is this one going to give us? It is 6 out of 5 divided by, because this one is a mixed fraction, so we are going to change it into an improper fraction. 3 times 1, that is 3, plus the numerator, which is 1, that is 4. So we have 4 out of 3. What is this one going to give us? That is 6 out of 5. Division will change into multiplication, and the next fraction will become a reciprocal. So what is the reciprocal of 4 out of 3? That is 3 out of 5. Get the product, numerator product, 6 times 3, that is 18. Denominator product, 5 times 5. Sorry, I've made a mistake here. This one is going to be out of 4. So get the product, 5 times 4, which is 20. Can this one be reduced? The answer is yes. So which factor can reduce 18 and 20? That is 2. Divide by 2, you get 9. Divide by 2, that is 10. So what are we getting? 9 out of 10. Can that one be further reduced? The answer is no. So how do we write 9 out of 10 as a fraction? That is 9 to 10. Then we go to D. D says we are changing 5 out of 6. Change this sign to division, 2 out of 3. So this one will give you 5 out of 6. Division will change into multiplication, and the next fraction becomes a reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. 5 times the 3, we are getting 15. 6 times 2, we are getting 12. Before you write this one as a ratio, make sure that it has been simplified to its lowest term. 15 out of 12, can it be further reduced? I think yes. Which factor can reduce 15 at the same time 12? That is 3. So when we divide by 3, we get 5. When we divide by 3, we get a 4. So the fraction is 5/4. Can this one be further reduced? No. So how do we write this one? That is 5/4. That is 5/4. So E, we are supposed to have 2.5, which we are supposed to divide by 1.25. So this one is going to give you, change this one into an improper fraction, 2 times 2, 4, then plus 1, which is 5, out of the denominator, divided by 4 times 1, that is 4, plus 1, that is 5, out of 4. So this one is going to give you 5 out of 2. Then division will change into multiplication, which is 4 out of 5. Then go ahead and get a product, but you can also reduce it since we have now multiplication. How do we reduce? Check diagonally. Can I reduce diagonally? Yes. By 5 is 1, by 5 is 1. Can 2 reduce a 4? Yes. By 2 once, by 2, 2. So get the product, 1 times 2, which is 2, out of 1 times this 1, which is 1, and the fraction which we are getting from that is 2 to 1. Then we have F, and F says 1/4, divide it by 1/3. So 1/4 divided by 1/3, this one is going to give you 1/4. Division will change into multiplication, and the next fraction becomes a reciprocal, which is 3 out of 1. Check whether you can reduce before you get the product. We can't reduce, so 1 times 3, it is 3 out of 4 times 1, which is 4. So the ratio which we are getting from this is going to be 3 to 4. 3 to 4. F, G, 1 out of 8 divided by 1/4. Division will change into multiplication, that is by the reciprocal of the next fraction, 4 out of 1. Can this one be reduced? Yes. By 4 is 1, by 4 is 2. So 1 times 1, we are getting 1. 2 times 1, we are getting 2. And therefore, the ratio becomes 1 to 2. The ratio becomes 1 to 2. And finally, we had 10 out of 11, 2, 3 out of 5. So this one is supposed to give us, we are dividing, remember, out of 11, then times the reciprocal, which is 5 out of 3. Can 3 reduce 10? No. Can 5 reduce 11? No. So we just get the product. 10 times 5, we are getting 50. Out of 11 times 3, we are getting 33. So how do we write this one as a ratio? That will be 50 to 33. So this was the activity which I gave you. I just gave you very few numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I gave you 8 numbers. So you can rate yourself out of 8. If you got 8 out of 8, you are so wonderful. It means you paid attention to my lesson. If you got 7 out of 8, you are still good. But if you got below 7, then that one shows that you were maybe not attentive enough to learn in this lesson. So I urge you to pay maximum attention to me as I take you through a new subtopic, which is going to be expressing quantities as a ratio. we are going to learn how we can express given quantities as a ratio. Quantities are measured in different units. We can measure quantities in kilograms. We can measure quantities in minutes. And we can measure quantities in kilometers. So all those units which you have been dealing with right away from P1 measure quantities. So in this lesson, we are going to handle different quantities, and we shall see how we can express them as ratios. So in our example number 1, we are going to see how we can express 30 minutes as a ratio of 60 minutes. We are expressing 30 minutes as a ratio of 60 minutes. Look at the quantities given. You must make sure that we have the same units. So in this case, do we have the same units? Yes. Which units do we have? Minutes, minutes. Then now things become very easy. So we shall have to write this one as a fraction. Identify what you are expressing. What are you expressing? You are expressing 30. So we have 30 minutes. We have 30 minutes. And you are expressing it as a fraction of how many minutes? 60 minutes. You see that? So minutes divided by minutes, they will cancel off. So it means I don't have now units. So which fraction am I getting from this? 30 out of 60 without units. Where have the units gone? You have seen. Minutes divided by minutes, they have cancelled off. So is this one reduced to the lowest term? No. So we begin by cancelling the zeros. So I have 3 out of 6. Is this fraction still reduced to the lowest term? No. So we reduce this one. Which factor can reduce 3 at the same time 6? That is 3. So 3 divided by 3, we get 1. 6 divided by 3, we get 3. So which fraction am I getting from this? That is a third. Can this one be further reduced? No. So how do we write this one as a ratio? Because we are expressing it as a ratio, it is going to be numerator first, that is 1, 2. The denominator, which is 3. Can see how simple it is. So it means 30 minutes as a ratio of 60 minutes gives us a third. Let's look at another example. Let's now talk about kilograms. I've told you we have very many units which we can use. So we are going to express 700 grams as a ratio of 1 kilogram. We are expressing 700 grams as a ratio of 1 kilogram. Do you remember what I told you at the beginning? I told you that for you to express quantities as a ratio, you should first of all have the same units. So for this case, I have grams and kilograms. Are these units the same? No. So it means before you write a fraction, you should first of all have the same units. So it means we can change grams to kilograms, or we can change grams to kilograms depending on what is simpler for you to change. So for this case, what do you think is simpler, changing from grams to kilograms or from kilograms to grams? I think changing from kilograms to grams is simpler than changing from grams to kilograms. So I'm going to change this 1 kilogram to grams. So we know that 1 kilogram is equal to how many grams? 1 kilogram is equal to how many grams? It is equal to 1,000 grams. 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So if 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, it means the other 1 kilogram which has been given here has already been converted into grams. So identify what you are going to express. We are supposed to express 700, and these are grams. Out of 1 kilogram, but I told you we must have the same units. So this 1 kilogram has been converted to give me how many grams? 1,000 grams. So it is going to be out of 1,000 grams. So the grams and the grams will cancel off. So I no longer have units. And the purpose of changing to similar units is to make sure that you have the same, is to make sure that units can cancel and you remain with no units. So I have 700 out of 1,000. Can this one be further reduced? Yes, beginning with the zeros. That one will go with this. This one will also go with this. So it means I have got a new fraction which is 7 out of 10. Can this one be further reduced? No, because we don't have a common factor for 7 and 10. So what is that one in ratio form? It becomes 7 to 10. It becomes 7 to 10. Yes. Can you think of any other unit which we can use to measure quantities? We have looked at minutes. We have looked at kilograms and grams. Which other units can we use? We can also have meters and kilometers. So in this case, in number 3, let's look at one more example whereby we are going to deal with the meters and kilometers. So we are expressing, and what are we expressing? We are expressing 500 meters as a ratio of 1.5 kilometers. You see? What are we expressing? We are expressing 500 meters. But as a ratio of what? 1.5 kilometers. Do we have the same units? No. So I told you that it's up to you to choose what to change. You can change meters to kilometers, or you can change kilometers to meters, depending on which one is going to be easier for you. So in this example, we are going to change this to meters. Then I will also give you another alternative whereby we shall change meters to kilometers and see whether we shall get the same answer. So, first of all, which one is simpler to change? I think it is from kilometers to meters. So from the beginning, you know that 1 kilometer is equal to how many meters? How many meters make 1 kilometer? It is what? 1,000. So 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. What about if you have 1.5 kilometers? Do you remember how to make this conversion? Change this one into an improper fraction. 2 times 1, that is 2, plus 1, that is 3. So it becomes 3 halves, which we are going to multiply by this 1,000 meters. So divide by 2 is 1. Divide by 2 in 10 is 5. Plus how many zeros? 5 zeros. I mean two zeros. So we have 3 times 500, and this one is in meters, and the product is going to be 1,500 meters. So it means 1.5 kilometers is the same as 1,500 meters. So we can go ahead and form the fraction. Identify what you are expressing. We are expressing 500 meters. So we have 500 meters out of 1.5 kilometers. 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 500 we are expressing it as a ratio of 1.5 kilometers. And 1.5 kilometers has given us 1,500 meters. Meters divided by meters, they will cancel. This 0 will go with this. This one with that. So I have remained with 5 out of 15. Do I have a common factor here? Yes. Which factor is that one? 5. So 5 can reduce 5 and 15. So divide by 5, 1. Divide by 5, 3. So it means 5 out of 15 will give me 1 out of 3. So what is 1 out of 3 in ratio form? It is going to be 1 to 3. It is going to be 1 to 3. I want to use the same example. This time I want to change this one to kilometers. And we see whether we shall get the same answer. Want to change this time meters to kilometers and see whether we shall get the same answer. So that next time when you are to choose what to convert, at least you are sure that even your friend who has converted what you have not converted will get the same answer you have got. So how do we convert from meters to kilometers? From meters. So it means when you are relating, you begin with the meters. Why? Because you are converting from meters to kilometers. You learned this in P5. So we shall say 1,000 meters will give us 1 kilometer. You remember that? Yes. What about if you have 500 meters? What about if you have 500 meters? You can see from 1,000 to 1 to 1. From 1,000 to 1, you are reducing. So in conversions, if you are reducing, you just divide. So it means we are going to have 500 divided by this 1,000. And this side is for kilometers. This will go with this will go with that. So I have remained with 5 out of 10 kilometers. Can this one be further reduced? Yes. Which number can reduce 5 and 10? It is 5. Divide by 5, 1. Divide by 5 is 2. So it means 500 meters is a half a kilometer. That's why we are getting that a half. So identify what you are expressing. What are you expressing? 500 meters. But 500 meters has been converted into kilometers. So I have a half kilometers, which I'm supposed to divide by 1.5. Since this one is a fraction, this one is a fraction, so I will change this over to now division because they mean the same. So we are going to divide it by 1.5 kilometers. So what is this one going to give you? It is a half kilometers. Division will change into multiplication. But before we change it into multiplication, this one is a mixed fraction. So we first change it to an improper fraction. 2 times 1, 2, plus 1, 3, out of 2 kilometers. This one will further give you a half a kilometer times 2, which is the reciprocal, out of 3. The kilometers which have been on the numerators will go down here. You see that? Yes. So kilometers divided by kilometers, they will cancel off. So it means I have remained with a half times 2 out of 3. Can this fraction be further reduced? Yes. By 2 is 1. By 2 is 1. Get the product. 1 times 1, which is 1. 1 times 3, which is a third. How do we write this one? That is 1, 2, 3. Compare. Have we got the same answers? Yes. But who has written a lot? The one who chose to convert 500 meters to kilometers has written a lot. But in mathematics, we don't mind about how much you have written, as long as you have followed through all the steps correctly. We mark the answers. So that's why I told you that To choose what to convert, first use your brain. Which one is easier for you to convert? I think somebody who took this one would use like 2 minutes, and if you chose to convert to kilometers, you would use like 3 minutes. So in terms of time management, this one will finish the paper before you finish. So I hope you have now learned something. If I give you some numbers to try, I hope you can really do them very well. We have used the different units. Here we have used the minutes. Here we have used the kilograms and the grams. Here we have used the meters and the kilometers. But most importantly, I have told you that when you are dealing with the quantities, you should make sure that you have similar units. Why similar units? Because a ratio is not supposed to have units. So if you have different units, then those units will have no way they will cancel. It means you will have, units which we don't want. Thank you so much for paying attention. I am going to give you an activity of only 5 numbers. Only 5 numbers. During this corona, we don't want to bother you so much. I'm going to give you an activity of 5 numbers. I expect you to sit down, concentrate on those numbers, make sure that TV is switched off, the brothers and sisters are not disturbing you. Concentrate, calculate these numbers so that next time when I come, we shall check ourselves, our scores. Thank you so much. Continue washing your hands with water and soap. And if you have a sanitizer, please use it because corona is still with us and it kills. Bye-bye.